appointed, and he hopes that states will define marriage as a union between a man and a woman. Live at the Supreme Court, Danielle Nottingham. Now back to you.
All right, thank you, Danielle. And joining us now to talk about the ruling is Emily Horvath, an associate professor at Cooley Law School. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Emily, obviously a major victory for same-sex couples here. First of all, we kind of want to localize it a little bit and bring it into Michigan. So what does this mean for same-sex couples who live in Michigan but are legally married in other states? What happens there?
The short answer is we don't know at this point. What the court made very clear was that the decision of whether or not to recognize same-sex marriages is entirely up to the state and under the purviews of the state and not the federal government.
Okay.
So when someone is married in another jurisdiction, let's say California or New York or Iowa, and yet they live in Michigan, there's a possibility that the federal government will still recognize their marriage, but there's some rules that need to be worked out at the federal level. And
I would imagine there's going to be a lot of those kind of questions that are on the fence because it just happened, right? So,
exactly. Yeah. There's still some things that are up in the air, still some bureaucratic things that need to be worked out, but as of right now, the federal government has no jurisdiction in determining marriage rights.
Okay, so is this going to change the way we do business here in Michigan? Does that mean that Michigan must now legalize gay marriage?
No. Okay. No. The very short answer is that the ban against same-sex marriage in Michigan still stands. Again, the court said it's up to each state. So the federal government has no right to tell the states what to do when it comes to marriage equality.
Were you surprised, now, just being a law professor, were you surprised at this, this decision?
Actually, there was a lot of speculation as to what the court would do, which is always very dangerous because you never know what the court's going to do.
Right.
But there was a lot of speculation that they would strike down DOMA based on the oral arguments and the questions they asked in oral argument. So we were expecting this decision in particular, and in particular the jurisdictional aspect of it. The idea that it's a equal rights question as well, we kind of expected that as well. So nothing really surprising here.
Now, is this going to open the door in Michigan to possibly legalizing gay marriage? What does this mean?
Potentially. Again, it's up to the state. And so if Michigan and Michigan citizens and the Michigan legislature, and there's many different approaches that can be taken, but if Michigan decides that Michigan wants to recognize same-sex marriages, then it's up to Michigan to do that.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Emily.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Emily Horvath with Cooley Law School. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, you're going to want to keep it here on 6 News. We have continuing coverage throughout the day today on the Supreme Court rulings. And if you want to read the